All right, so as I get set up, I would love it if you could drop into the chat your comfortability with Instagram from a scale of 1 to 5. 1, like I really dislike Instagram, and 5 is like this is my jam, and I've got it down as I set this up. And then just as a quick kind of note, I'm a teacher, so I've been on Instagram off, or I'm on Zoom all the time, but it's hard for me to check the chat. So if you have a question, if you could just hold it, and we're running a little bit behind. This is a pretty long, it's about the 45-minute presentation, so I'm going to try to skim through it as fast as I can. So I've got some great questions here. I'm going to give you one really quick hint about when you drop your Instagrams. You want to drop them like this when you're on Zoom. And I'm going to show you how to do it. When you drop it like this on Zoom, it's going to give you a clickable link that will take you directly to the person's page. So if you put the HTTPS in front of your @ now all the person needs to do is click on that, and it will directly take them to your Instagram, which will allow you to be better able to connect. So let me go ahead and start presenting. Hopefully you can see everything. I see we've got like 1 5, but a lot of people in 2 5s, a couple of people in the 3s, and some people in the 2s. So we're going to go ahead and just dive in. This is a presentation I did for another group that was really about product-based business. It had some product-based business. I am a service-based business, so some of what I share is going to be a little bit more specific to that, but I was referred here by Ava, who's also a product-based business, so I have lots of experience in that space as well. And because we're all busy entrepreneurs, the idea of this is that you're going to be able to find your ideal client on Instagram in 20 minutes. That this is not something that you should be spending hours upon hours, that you can do a lot of work in 20 minutes. And I have a couple of analogies to really help you with that. So, you know, if this is you, let me know. You show for Instagram and you're posting, but your posts are simply landing flat. They're not really getting the engagement. So you can just drop a number of which of these is you. It's Instagram, no engagement. 2, you have your ideal followers. You actually have, really started to curate your following, but your followers aren't engaging with you. So you might get some engagement, but it's more of the bot level or people that you don't know. If you're ready to attract your new followers and you want them to be your dream client. So a lot of us, I hear a lot of people say, I just want to grow my following, but we're going to talk about why it's so important for Instagram that it just not be anybody, but that, for example, Lisa, you want to attract people who want to buy soap, not people who want to buy fashionable clothes, because that's not what you're selling. So how we can really zero in on your ideal client. And you would rather not have to be on Instagram every day of the week for what seems like inordinate amount of hours for little return. So I see some people have all of those. Great, 3 and 4. Awesome. So this is just a way for me to kind of like check in and see, and also for you to, I really want you to identify for yourself, like what comes up with Instagram. So many people have a love-hate relationship. I also have a love-hate relationship with Instagram, even as it is a part of my business. So you might be wondering who I am. My name is Monica Monfrey. I have been inside of this creating content space for over 20 years. Now, Instagram has not been around for 20 years. I'm actually 43, so I remember Friendster and MySpace back in the day. I'm going to take us all the way back to the old social medias if you were hanging around online at that time. But as a teacher, I'm creating content, and I'm creating the same type of content that is usable on Instagram, the kind of content that engages, that is short, that is quick, and that allows a person to be like, oh, I like what you're offering. I really was on Instagram right away. Didn't do much with it. I was the brunch girl who had pictures of myself out with my friends on Sunday brunches, maybe a fuzzy picture of myself that I thought was really cute. I left it up, but probably should take it down at this point in life. But about 3 years ago, I became a yoga teacher here in New York City. And if you know anything about the New York City yoga teaching industry, it is virtually impossible to find a job unless you're already teaching. But how can you have any reviews and get clients if you're not teaching? There's kind of like this cart, and it's the same thing when we started business, right? So I decided I didn't have any money to advertise my classes. So I started to go onto Instagram, showing poses of myself doing yoga. And that's really what catapulted me into the Instagram space. I've organically grown my Instagram since last April. Last April, I had just a little over 3,000, maybe close to 4,000 followers. And as of today, basically a year later, I'm almost at 10,000 followers. Now, why is that so big? There are people who are doing this in quick time. I never paid for ads, and I did this all organically. So the people who are following my account are people who are attracted to what I'm offering and are people that I know. So when I go to clear out my followers, I'm always like, oh, I know them. Oh, I know them. Oh, I know them. It's very hard for me to actually unfollow people and for me to, because I know everyone who is hanging out with me. It also is why in 10 days I was able to sell a sold out launch and make $25,000 because the people on my account are the people who want to buy what I'm offering. So we're going to talk really clearly about how you can send messages out to your clients and out to your customers so they want to buy from you. And besides Instagram, I do a business coaching around how to set up your offers and sell them, how to grow your network so you can grow your network, and of course, how to get visible. My program is called the Launch Visibility and Growth Accelerator. So I am not here to talk about the things that you can do and that this will work wonderful. I'm here to tell you about actionable strategies that aren't going to take you hours to complete. Again, the goal is that you can do a lot of these in 10 to 20 minutes, and you might do them 3 times a day, but that you shouldn't be spending more time on your Instagram than you are in actually serving your clients and in selling. Like Instagram should be the thing that allows you to have more freedom because you're setting it up so it's drawing in the right clients for you. I'm not here to like hype anyone up, and even myself. The things that I do, they work for me. We're going to talk about what can work for you. And that includes what's working right now. So there might be some adjustments to this because every single day it seems like Instagram is adding something new or changing the algorithm. So some of the things I'm going to share in here might need to be adjusted because of what's been happening in the last week or so with the algorithm. And then some specific next steps for you. I do talk very fast. So if you have anything, yeah, MySpace, I was such a good friend. And Friendster, somebody mentioned Friendster the other day, and I was like, you're my friend. I love it. If you know what Friendster was, it was like, it was kind of like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It was basically like everybody created an account and then it just told you who your friends were. And it really didn't do more than that, but it was kind of like cool to see. It was old school social media. All right, so let's dive in. So this is just why, because oftentimes, you know, even though I'm in my 40s, I talk to a lot of people who don't believe that their clients, that their customers are on Instagram. And here's the reality. Over 1 billion users are on Instagram. As of October of 2020, and I need to update the stat, almost 50% of the users on Instagram were between the ages of 25 and 54. And my gut feeling is that that has actually increased. That because of the pandemic, because of the buyer changing, and because of some of the things that Instagram has added, it like the buy feature, that there are more people inside of this age bracket. Instagram is not the place where the teeny boppers or the young teens are hanging out. My students don't even really use, and I teach high school, they're not using Instagram, they're on Snapchat. And also, just so you're aware, I think many of you could probably do well in TikTok. And so when we talk a little bit about this, if you've been reticent to use TikTok, I would encourage you that even as a product-based business, that TikTok videos are still a great place to grow. And if you know how to do an Instagram reel, then we can get you on TikTok as well. One of the things that I also want to say is that Instagram continues to be a free platform, and there are so many new features. A couple of them that I'll mention in here, but that I also share with my clients. Some of the new features are things like guides, which are perfect if you are a business and you're selling a product. There are things like Reels. There are things like Instagram Lives. There are so many ways to really focus on Instagram, and it's free. And when we're starting our business, free is always a beautiful thing. One of the things that I often also say is that a lot of Instagram coaches out there are telling people like, you need to create more content and you need to have, use 30 hashtags and do all the research. And while that is all good advice, many coaches out there don't tell us that the biggest part of social media is being social. And that means engaging with potential customers own their profile so that you're able to draw them back. And that doesn't mean following a bunch of people and then unfollowing them. It's how we strategically engage with people who might need to buy our product. And so we're going to talk about that. And of course, I'm in New York and it seems like it's opening up more, but many of us are still kind of, our people are still on social media. They're still looking for ways to connect in a different space. So we're going to dive into the training. So the very first thing I really want to focus on is the fact that Instagram bios are probably the most important thing that you should be taking time today to really reevaluate or take a look at. And this goes whether you're product-based business or you're a service-based business. For so long, Instagram bios have really been a list of who I am or of what I offer. But people, if we think about an Instagram bio the same way that you think about your business card, you don't walk into a networking hour and be like, here's my business card, I sell fruits and vegetables. Here's my business card, I sell soaps. Here's my business card, I have a line of clothing. Here's my business card, I'm a coach. We don't, like, that's not how we function, right? We come into a networking session and we say like, hey, my name is Monica. I'm a high school teacher in Brooklyn, New York. Who are you? Like, what do you do? We kind of have a conversation. And so your Instagram bio, you have about 7 seconds to capture someone on Instagram. We want your bio to excite your followers. So, you know, I'm thinking of the soap because it's like, I love homemade soaps. And I forget, was that Pat who has the homemade soaps? You all
No,
moved around.
I have granola.
Granola, okay. It's done the Zoom, Lisa. It's done the like Zoom box change around. So I'm like, oh my gosh,
Oh.
people have moved. So, you know, even granola, right? Like, you don't necessarily want to have a list of what's in your granola, but it's almost this like, you know, ready to dive into a crunchy, amazing, and healthy breakfast, right? Something that's going to get people to be like, oh, I want a healthy, amazing, crunchy breakfast. So you want to have some sort of bio that's going to excite them. And for many of us, and for many people, especially product-based business, you want to look and see what your competitor is putting inside of their Instagram bio. We never want to copy, but we want to know other people have done the research. So why are you not using the same research that's been done for you? So what is places like Lush putting inside of their bio, and then similarly putting that inside of your bio? And then the biggest thing that I see missing in people's bios is a call to action. So you have 150 characters to talk about who you are in your bio, and then people just put a website right below it. And I'm going to tell you the story that I tell every single person. I've been teaching high school for a really long time. I've been teaching adult students. They're 16 and 17. They might as well be adults. Many of them have their own families. They've been inside of the school system for 12 years. You would assume that when we come to an English class, they would know that they need to have a pen and a piece of paper and take out their books, right? They'll come in, they'll sit down, they'll look at me, and I'm like, please take out your pen, your paper. They don't do what I ask them to, they don't do what I want them to do until I tell them what we need them to do. So inside your call to action, you want to clearly tell people why they are clicking on your website. And I was so excited to hear someone say that she had just created a landing page. For many of us, product-based business, you still need to have something to capture someone's email address. So often I go to home-owned or solopreneur-owned websites, and there is no pop-up that comes up that allows me to give you my email address. I might not be in a place where I can buy your product right now. So if you have not yet cleared a way for somebody to pop up after 5 seconds and put in your email address, that would be a next step to take. Because on Instagram, somebody's going to click on your website and they're going to go there. And if they don't buy from you right away and they don't take that action to follow you, you've just lost a potential client if you haven't been able to capture their email address. So I love saying something like, click below for your sample, or, save 10% on your first order. Like, tell them what they're going to get when they click on that, and then it leads them over to your site. And then once they're inside of your funnel, we want to really be thinking about that. So let's take some pictures of, keep moving here. I'm kind of flipping through because some of this isn't as applicable to product-based business, but I do want to say that if you are using the word help inside of your Instagram bio, I'd love for you to take it out. And here's why. We can't, helping you eat better is not necessarily what we're doing, right? Think about what is that action, that helping, the word that comes after the word help. So I used to say I help women entrepreneurs use social media to grow their business. Well, that's real. I do help you, but really what I do is I teach you engagement strategies. I grow your platform. I encourage you, we plan your content. Help is such like a loosey-goosey word. And I think it came about a lot because of the helping statements that people create with their coaches. So if you have a helping statement, try to take that word out and make it really actionable. People, again, with Clubhouse, and if you're not on Clubhouse, by the way, I would highly recommend getting on Clubhouse because there are so many product-based businesses that are on Clubhouse, and I do a lot of Instagram audits on there for product-based businesses. And so often I still see like a helping statement. Your bio is really about your clients. So we want to make sure that you are talking to them and drawing them in. So here is my old one. This is a new one. Again, I've changed it a few times, but I want to just walk through a few parts of your business You have this section here, it's the bolded section, it's your name. This is search engine optimized, meaning that it should have keywords inside of it. So for many of you, you probably don't have your name inside of your Instagram because you might have your product-based business name or your company name. So you want to consider putting your name here. So for example, if your business name is, somebody can, so Alexander Farm Orchard. So Lisa, I'm going to use you. So you have Alexander Farm Orchard might be your Instagram handle. You might want to put your first name here, especially if you have a smaller amount of people. And you might be saying, but why? Like, I don't see Nike doing that. Right now, people buy from people. And so if you're a product-based business and you're a smaller account, you may want to put your name here. But whether you do or whether you don't, what you want to consider is, what is this last section here? This is your SEO. These are searchable words. So you want to have something like farmers market coach, or I'm trying to remember what everybody was saying as you all were talking, but you want to have this section here. What is your ideal client searching for? This is not the place to be cute. This is not the place to use acronyms that nobody knows. So mine says business and Insta strategist. Why? And now I think it actually, now I've changed it to be business and Instagram coach. These words are searchable. Then you have a drop down, which is your category. That is also searchable. So notice how I have the word strategist up here. I don't use the word strategist anywhere else because you want to have as many keywords as you can. Then you have 150 characters here. I'm going to recommend that everyone take out a hashtag. Hashtags are not performing right now on Instagram. Ever since the election, hashtag reach has been down. If you don't have a call to action, but you have a hashtag, remove your hashtag and insert a call to action, because your call to action with a down arrow is going to be the most important thing. Because the reality is, this is all great, but we want people to click on our websites, right? That's where people make sales. So you want people, no matter what, to click on this website. If you are currently using Linktree, I'm going to challenge you that I'm not a huge fan of Linktree. Linktree does not help your organic reach on Google. So you do want to have, as often as you can, a direct link to your website. And if you have like a Squarespace, I was able to make a hidden page on my Squarespace with 3 links in about 45 minutes. I'm happy to help anyone else who needs that support around that. How are we doing so far? I know I'm talking fast. I want to make sure I get through everything. We okay? So I wanted to show you a few other people. They do happen to be service-based businesses, but just to see how different people have done this. Both of these have, their names are different than their business names. So Laura Hassan, her name is totally Laura. She has products as well. And Marisa Corcoran is M. Tony. So if your handle is not something that people know you by, you do want to change this. I do want to just drop this. Where it says Laura Hassan Transformation, you can only change that once every, I believe it is 21 days. So if after today you go and change your name, know that you're stuck with that for a minute. So don't change anything until you've like sat with it, slept on it, then like that makes sense. However, the rest of your bio can be changed as often as you want. So let's say, for example, you are going to, Lisa, let's say that you're going to a farmer's market next week and you wanted to offer people during that weekend like 10% off. You could actually change this link for 2 days to be a 10% off code and then change it back after the farmer's market. I do this a lot when I'm on places like Clubhouse and I want people to buy directly. I'll say like the link to buy my Instagram Reels is in my Instagram bio. And I was on a Clubhouse and was selling things just like that during Clubhouse because I made it super easy for people to buy from me. They didn't have to go to 5 different pages. They clicked the page, they purchased, boom, the money was mine. They got their product. So good. I forget who said that they just created for Business Insider that you just created a new landing page, but you might want to test that out. And again, what I love about this is you can test your link out for a few days, see if it converts for you, and then take it down. It doesn't have to be something, or you could run a flash sale. If you're a product-based business, maybe you do an Instagram live flash sale. And during the flash sale, you're telling people like, if you're ready to grab this offer, click the link in my bio. And then that link is like right there, ready for people to purchase from you. And if there are questions, you can go ahead and drop them. I'm like, if I'm looking all over the place, I'm moving the chat box around. So one of the things I do want to say is that this is probably not I would encourage you to think about your call to actions at the end of it. Now, most of you, most of you product-based business, correct? Most everyone in here. So this is going to change. You want to think about if you're asking people to engage with you or if you're asking them to buy from you. For every 10 posts that you have, you want to make sure that there's a variety of your call to action. So often I see that people's call to actions, every single post, are click the link in my bio. It's great to use the click the link in your bio call to action, but if every single time it's click the link in my bio and you don't engage people in a conversation, you're not actually building know, like, and trust with your audience. So you do want to have some posts, even if you're a product-based business, where you're asking people, you know, what's your favorite candle scent? Or drop an emoji where, you know, where maybe you say like, which colors do you like? Or in your granola, do you use strawberry, banana, or peach, right? And then you have that emoji. So you're encouraging the conversation, because here's the thing we forget about Instagram. It's not a sales platform. It's a social media platform. So in order for it to make sales, you have to get social. Now, I don't want you to do that all the time though. So the reason I used to say this is because I would see, you know, you go to a networking event and you're not going to just like walk in and be like, buy my product and then walk back out. Not every single time. So you want to make sure that your call to actions encourage people to message you, to DM you. Instagram has added a new feature that on your own platform, on your own profile, when somebody comments, it gives you two choices. You can reply to them directly or you can send them a message. This is a beautiful way to get into someone's DMs. If someone says to you, for example, Pat, they say like, I like bananas. You can send a message like, I just thought that you thought that you like bananas. Like, would love to like send you a sample of this, or have you checked out this, right? So I just want to encourage you that even if you're a product-based business, sending people all the time to the link in your bio may actually be hurting you on Instagram. You want to invite them in to have a conversation. And if you are never sending people to the link in your bio, I want you to start to also tell people to click the link in your bio or to engage with you in a different way, whether that is a DM or not. I tend to think that asking someone to DM you does not necessarily, it's like too far of an action, but we all get to decide again, what is the purpose of your post? So here's just some examples of people who have different calls to actions. And I actually have a free guide for call to actions. It's okay, Jennifer. I have a guide that has about 6 different call to actions, but some of these I love when people, like an easy one of dropping emojis. People have said to me before, they've heard that Instagram thinks if you drop emojis, you're a bot. It's only if you ask people to drop the same emoji all the time, but you're not asking them to just do the same one all the time. So ask them to drop an emoji. I love ones that ask you like, what's the color, that has different color of hearts to kind of indicate. It's just a quick way to connect with someone. This is a great one where she's like, has the arrow that's pointing down to encourage people to do this. Also, these are all of my clients, so some of them do really great things. This is a one by me. And I wanted to show this one to you because it actually has 2 call to actions. I'm encouraging people to answer my question, but then I use the PS. If you don't know, the PS is the most read section of your email and of your post, because when people are skimming, if I don't want to read the whole email, I go right to the PS. So try using a PS in your Instagram post too, especially if you're telling the story. So maybe you're telling the story of your sales over Mother's Day, or maybe you're telling the story of like a Mother's Day past and why this particular product was so powerful. And then at the end say like, make sure to hit like, PS, did you know it's 15 days until Mother's Day? Or like, PS, do you know? So that if somebody didn't read the whole post, they at least know what that is. I also want to share with you the double call to action, which what I mean by that is you can start your post off with a call to action. So if you're going to use a post, if at the end of it, you're going to have click the link in your bio, your initial sentence could be something like, when's the last time you took a bath? Or when's the last time you set aside 60 minutes for yourself to exercise, for self-care? When's the last time you went for a walk? And then you ask them that question, you tell your story, but you've at least given somebody a question to answer. Because I like to think that people on Instagram are social. That's why they're on Instagram. They don't want to just click the heart button. So ask them a question so that you can engage with them. Before I head off of call to actions, are there any questions about call to actions that people have? You can unmute or drop it in the chat. The biggest thing I see happening on people's Instagrams is that there's no call to action. You want to ask your clients to do something. You want to ask your followers to do something, whether that is to engage on the post or to engage with you. And then you want to be able to give people engagement as well. So these are just a few of the testimonials, but I love to talk about this one. Like, she secured a client because she asked for the sale. Like, if we're not ever asking for the sale, if you're not ever saying like, I'm running a Mother's Day special, get in on it now, or limited supply of this, come grab it now, then people won't know that we're actually doing it. And here's the thing about Instagram and about any social media. Only about 5% of your audience at any one time sees any one post. So if you feel like I just asked for the sale yesterday, well, ask for the sale in an Instagram story today. Ask for the sale in an Instagram live. People don't see most of what we actually put out. And so if you're not telling them that you have something to sell, they might not know that. And I know as a product-based business, we assume that people know we're selling something, but also like not everybody puts 2 and 2 together that they're supposed to buy from you. So really asking for that sale is helpful. Yep.
So you mentioned, you caught my attention of, well, a lot of this, most of this, but you said something about, you kind of do this kind of post in a story, and at the end is like, hey, by the way, 15 days to Mother's Day. And so, and you were, just saying, ask for the sale in different ways every day. How far along, like, should it be like 2 weeks beforehand, or like, what's the good time frame to really try and capture people's sales?
I like to do, so I actually have some free prompts that I will pass along to you all, but I usually like to do an intro post, like get to know me, and then I'll do like a client post. I have like a few that kind of like lead them down. So I say by like every 5th post, you should be selling on your feed. So there's the feed sales. Every post shouldn't be a sale post on your feed. However, on your Instagram stories, they only last for 24 hours. So every single day, there should be a sale post on your Instagram story. And I know that can feel like a lot, but like you can do polls. So I don't know if you all know the magic of a poll, but I did a poll the other week and I asked my audience, which freebie do you want? Instagram or Clubhouse? Call to action or engagement, this or that. And from that, I had people who indicated which one they wanted. And then I was able to look at that information, send them the link to the exact product that they wanted. That at my engagement, I had so many people participate. I had people get on my list that I really thought were already on my list, but they weren't. Like, it's a quick way to do this. So the polls are a really powerful tool for you to use if you're not using them. And they don't always just have to be sales polls. What do you want to know about your clients? Do you like to go shopping on Saturday or Sunday? Do you like to have coupons, or do you like to, like, what do they want from you? Because once you gather that data, then you can actually go right back. And plus, if somebody says, I like to shop on Sundays, you could be like, oh my gosh, I'm actually doing a super secret sale on Sunday. I'm going to send you the link to it, right? They've engaged with you. They've given you some data, send them a message back. So I hope that's helpful a little bit. Like, posts, I think, don't have to be sales every single day, but Instagram stories, once a week, I would encourage you to get on video and to go live. I love when I see people doing IG lives to sell their products, and then do some sort of like, some sort of discount. Like, if you're catching this live and you message me this word, I'll throw this in. Or, I mean, I'm thinking about like Pat, on Clubhouse, I became an influencer for some soaps, and she sent me like little samples, right? Like, if you buy in the next hour, I'll send like a tiny sample of lotion with you. And you can do that when you're doing an IG live, because you have that like space to kind of see who's there. I would say that for anything, video is going to be your highest conversion over an Instagram post, because an Instagram post, especially if it's dated, like, it's not a time-based algorithm, so people might not see it too late, which is why yoga wasn't great like when I was posting my classes on my feed, because nobody was seeing them. So the more I posted my classes in my Instagram story, people saw them. Now, here's the thing that I think is super important for every single person on here, which is that if you're waiting for your clients to find you on Instagram, they are not coming. Like, you're going to have to spend, and this is the 20 minutes that I like to talk about. You have to go and engage with your clients. And how do you find them? Borrow audiences. So for example, if I am going to, I'm trying to think like, what's a good product-based business that I could be selling? Okay, so I just have these here. So if I wanted to make my own cards. Like, let's say I wanted to make my own inspirational card decks to pull. I would want to go and see like who's already doing this. So maybe I follow Gabby Bernstein because she has inspirational decks. Maybe I go and follow Lucy Cavendish, and then I see who's engaging with Lucy Cavendish, and then I click on those people and I go to their Instagram account and I engage. What do I mean by engage? Like a post if it resonates with you. Leave a comment, like a story. I do not mean follow. Engaging is not following, because following just is a follow. It's not actually like making the conversation. So you can borrow an audience by going to your competitors' brand and seeing who's engaging with them. Also, just be aware that half the brands out there have bought their followers and use bots. So I was working with a client. We looked at a Joe Malone, and I was like, just to let you know, about 50% of these followers aren't real. So like sometimes we can be overwhelmed and think like Joe Malone has 50,000 followers and I have 1,000, but you might have followers who actually buy from you. 50,000, like 25,000 of Joe Malone's followers are bots. So the numbers don't matter. What matters is like, what's the real engagement? And then you can also utilize hashtags to help you find your engagement. So what do I mean by that? So let me just be clear about this hashtag thing. If you've heard from somebody that you should be using 30 hashtags, I want to encourage you not to use 30 hashtags for right now. Do an A/B test. Drop your hashtags down to about 8 to 10 that are specifically related to either what your picture is or what your caption is. So for example, if I'm a teacher and I don't have the word teacher inside my caption and it's not a picture of me teaching and I use teachers of Instagram, Instagram is not going to show my post to that hashtag, because they're going to think I'm just spamming hashtags. So your hashtags should be directly related to the content that you are writing and to the picture that you have out there. Even if you're like, well, I'm a female founder, but none of your posts is about female founders, then it shouldn't be a hashtag there.
I have another question with hashtags. So I heard somebody give advice with regards to hashtags is to find out what the most trending hashtags are in your area. Like for me, because I can only sell relatively locally, is find the popular hashtags in my area. Is that effective?
No, not really. What's effective is that your hashtags need to match the post. And then you do want to tag your location. So Jennifer, since you're selling in a location, your location counts as a searchable spot as well. So it's almost like an extra hashtag. What would be best to say is, let's say, remind me, you're selling a bakery, right?
Bakery, yes.
So if you have an image of food on your post, then you could use something like Syracuse Bakery or New York Baker. Then it would work. But if the post is not connected to baking, then it wouldn't work. I also would encourage you not to think about the biggest trending hashtags. You want to be looking at hashtags that are between the ranges of 10 to 50,000, because that means that you're going to be seen. But if you're using a hashtag like baking and it's got 1 million hashtag uses on it, you're like not going to get any play. You also don't want to be using hashtags that are like 500, because you're also not going to get any, like, it's just going to be a dead hashtag. No one is using it. So what you want to do is go to the recent section of your hashtag and be able to do that. I think we have a few more minutes, so I just I'll leave this up. Go ahead and take a picture of this or a screenshot of this. This is how I do my connections during the day. So I'm teaching full time, so I try to do this, in the spaces that I have, and I only post 3 to 4 times a week on my feed, but every single day I'm inside of my Instagram. So let me have a few minutes. Let me just escape this and come here, and I'll show you really quickly what I mean about the hashtags. Hopefully it will let me do this. So when I'm talking about hashtags, and I feel like hashtags are the thing that Instagram has really kind of like messed up with right now, because my hashtag reach itself has really gone down. So I don't want to like spend too much time on it, but I want to show you what the best way to use it is. So if I were to do, Jennifer, where are you located?
I'm in the Cleveland, Ohio area.
So if I were to type in Cleveland baking, you'll notice that I'm not getting too much here, like 306. So what I could do is I could click on this. Let me show you what I mean about how to decide if it's a post to be using. You're going to see top posts, but you always want to check the recent posts to see like what the last time it was posted at. And we're going to notice that somebody posted 3 hours ago, but it only had 7. It had like a low engagement. So there's a couple of reasons for that. But you're also going to see, look, here's some hashtags. Are these hashtags that you could borrow, that you could use? This hashtag is like not, it's not really going. See how then before that, the last hashtag before that was 5 days ago. That means that it's not getting a lot of traction. So we maybe don't want to use that. So something better might be like Ohio bakery. So already we're up to 14,000. So that's a good hashtag for you to be using. And you're probably thinking 14,000 is small, but we want to be on a hashtag that's not too huge so that you have more of a chance of ranking, and also so that you stay inside of the recent post here. And so for example, then we can click on this and see it's an hour ago. This person is tagging their location. So if I click on that tagged location, it's going to actually send me to this location. So I can see where it's located. I can see all the I'll see how that functions as a hashtag. It's now organizing the hashtags under that. So that is giving you, is that helpful with hashtags?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
You're so welcome. All right, so let me see what's left in our presentation. Canva, you're fine, you're great, we love you. Okay, so if you're not using Instagram Reels, I just want to say this. I hear a lot of people not want to use Instagram Reels. If your engagement is low right now, I want you to try to use an Instagram Reel. So if you've never used an Instagram Reel, it's a 15-second or 30-second video, and you don't have to point, you don't have to dance, you don't have to do anything. You can actually create something on Canva. Speaking of Canva, you could take some of your images of your static posts and turn them onto a video on Canva that's 15 seconds long, and then upload it to your Instagram. And now you've just created a reel. Put some music behind it. So let's say you're a bakery doing happy birthday, right? You could take pictures of your birthday cakes, upload them to Instagram, add animation to it so it becomes a video, download that, upload that to Instagram as a reel, pick a song that's happy birthday, and now you have an Instagram reel for your birthday cakes. If you're a bath soaps, you could take the pictures of your bath soap, upload them, and then, find the song. There's lots of songs that work. You could be rubber ducky. You could just be facetious like me and be snarky and be like, rubber ducky, you're the one. Or you could find like a song that really resonates with people. You do want to try to do your reels in the beginning of the week. And you can also talk on your reel. You can videotape yourself on your reel. If you're a meditation, maybe you're a yoga business, you could actually just like hold yourself meditating in any sort of pose for 15 seconds. So there's a lot of things you can do with reels. I actually have a $47 offer that has 30 Instagram story ideas and 26 reel ideas that will help you. So I'm happy to share that with you. But I just want to share with you that Instagram Reels is really a place to grow and to add into your content if you're not currently using it. So this is sort of like the 4 things that are the most important, is remember that your bio is not about you, it's about your clients. You want to open conversation, especially if you're looking to grow. You want to try to bring people into having a conversation with you on Instagram. It's going to help boost your Instagram. You want to be intentional when you engage, and you want to use Reels to grow. I'm going to just quickly show you the last slide, and then I want to show you one last thing if I can, if I have enough time. Which is, this is how you can possibly, if you're interested in working with me and wanted me to take a look at your Instagram, I offer this. It's basically, I record your Instagram. I also record your Clubhouse if you have it, or if you don't have Clubhouse, a different one. So I look through it. I then give you a written report, and we hop on a call for 30 minutes where I basically kind of talk you through what needs to happen or what is the next best steps for you. And that is, it's actually, I think the price might have gone up, but you can, if it's not 77, you can just let me know and I'll change the price. But if this is something that you feel like would be helpful to you to have another pair of eyes on it, you can let me know. You can message me on Instagram. I'm Monica Monfrey. I do work with people one-to-one. So if this has been helpful, I know it's been a little bit rushed. I had quite a bit in here, but let me show you one last thing that I think is really going to be powerful for you all. And feel free to drop comments. My screen is now, it's now frozen. So I'm back. I just want to share my screen one last time with you all, but if you have any questions, feel free to drop them. I want to show you how to do a carousel post, which is if you're like, reels are not my jam, Monica. I don't think I can possibly do a reel. I want to show you what a carousel post is because it has the same benefit. A carousel post is when you upload multiple pictures at one time. So let me show you what I mean by that. I don't know why my computer is acting. It's not all my tabs either. It's like the whole computer has just slowed down. So there's a couple of things I want to encourage you. Some of you might want to start doing something called a guide. A guide is where you can curate your posts, and this is a great way to launch all of your posts together. So let's say you wanted to do one that showed off your current line. You could create a guide for this. What's awesome is that it's going to give you, for that particular guide, it's going to give you a backlink that you could then use on Pinterest, or you could drop in your Instagram newsletters to people. So guides are a quick way to take, it's kind of like highlights, but it's a guide for what your posts are down here. But I do want to show you what a carousel is really quickly. So this is a carousel. It's when you upload multiple pictures in one post. And how a carousel works is it will show this post first to my followers. And if nobody engages with it, it'll show this post. And then if nobody engages with it, it'll show this post. So you see
Monica,
the benefit here.
Monica, we're not seeing your screen. For some reason, it's not actually showing.
That's very odd. You don't see it now?
Yeah, now we do. Thank you.
That was so weird. Okay, so you didn't see any of the guides?
No, we didn't see that.
Okay, let me just, so this is what the benefit of a carousel is. So you're gonna see a carousel, and then Instagram will keep showing each of the images in the carousel to your followers until it gets to the end of it. You can upload up to 10 pictures on a carousel. I recommend between 5 and 7. I would do a carousel once a week, and it keeps people longer. It gives you a chance to blog about it. You can do a lot of this inside of your Canva as well. For guides, this is what a guide looks like. So a guide is just basically you're curating posts for your people. So let's say, for example, I have one that's all about how to launch your business on Instagram. The post, the Instagram story, or the Instagram videos that my IGTVs, my reels, they're all organized here. What's beautiful about this is there is a link up here that now I can backlink using Pinterest. I can take this link and put it in a newsletter to people. So if you're launching a new line of something, you could create a guide for that and then simply curate it that way. So it's kind of like having highlights, but on your Instagram feed. And then you can, for your reels, by the way, you can always create a cover for your reels so that if you don't want it to be, you doing something silly, you can always do a cover for your reels. And same thing for your IGTVs as well. You can have covers. So I hope that this has been helpful. I tried to get it in the time that we had, and unfortunately don't seem to have a lot of time for questions. But I'm happy if you reach out to me. I'm happy to hop on a call with anyone, a 20-minute, just kind of like quick call. I have a creator account, so I'm able to use music. If you have a business account, you're either going to have to save the sound from somebody else, or you're going to have to use some of the royalty-free music that they have on Instagram. I prefer a creator account, and if you wanted to like talk with me about why I have a creator account, even though I'm a business, we can talk about that. For many businesses, you might need that to have the business account in order to have the sell feature. So there's some like reasons to maybe not do it if you're a product-based business. But if anyone is interested and you want to chat more, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram. I'm happy to hop on a 20-minute call with you and see like what your next steps might look like. If an audit would be right, if you maybe a strategy session, if there's any way that I can help you grow your Instagram, I would love to work with all of you. I know Ava, she's one of my very first clients. And so we've worked a lot together.
Monica, it's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for I am like, my head is like, I was frantically writing, and I'm so glad we recorded it, because there's a huge amount of information there that I'm going to go back over and have a look at, and it's been incredibly the learning curve is just like blowing my head slightly, but that's okay. So thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And if there's only one thing that you take away from it, like do one thing, do your bio or try a carousel post. Like not everything has to happen all at once. Take one little thing and see what happens. My biggest tip would be hashtags. Stop with 30, go from 8 to 10 and see how that works. And then be sure to use a call to action in all of your posts and all of your bios. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to hop off because I think my client